For set number 4, I'm Andrew Sanders. He's Mike Shaw. It's been a great opener so far between a couple of Power 5 schools. A lot of talent, a lot of size out there on the court here tonight. As we look at the stat sheet a little bit, NC State was able to hit over 300, the first team to do that in the third set.
It hasn't taken them long to get comfortable, both NC State and Kansas. Even though Kansas won the first 2, that was their best hitting game so far. Kansas hit at 289, NC State at 333. But I thought the real key for NC State in winning that third game was how they started. In both of the first 2 games, they got off to a rough start. But early on in game 3, they came out of the break. They were playing with good energy, and they just seemed to settle in a little bit. And they already look a lot more comfortable right now than they did in the first game starting out. I really think in this set, it's gonna the first 10 points or so are really gonna matter. And I think if NC State gets themselves in a position where they're either in control or close, they're gonna be okay. But we'll see how Kansas responds too. They're not used to losing, so let's see how they come back from that.
Again, since 2015, they've won better than 90% of their matches. So certainly not used to losing, especially not in the regular season against a non-conference opponent. They've lost once in their last 27 tries. And playing in a tournament here, they've won 8 of their last 9 tournaments in the regular season. So really the numbers are just gaudy from the Jayhawks. As good as anyone in the country the last couple of seasons.
Miller back to serve. She served awfully tough at the end of game 3.
And Kuchmaner had a problem receiving that one. NC State is able to get it over, not with a lot of heat, and maybe a little miss hit. That'll work. And was that Zoe Hill? We saw her just at the very end of the third set. Yes, it is number 6, the sophomore from Houston.
Hill's a little bit undersized as a middle, but she gets off the floor pretty quickly and pretty high.
Brown has to get low.
Good save out of the net. See if NC State can convert.
Porter sets Pickrell. She buries it.
Tell you what, I know Pickrell, she was brought here to set, but she has a great left arm, and she's been very effective, especially going cross court against Kansas. Looked like a miss hit there. Yeah.
And you were talking about Hill being able to get up the floor quickly, but she was up in the air a little too quickly that time.
We'll chalk that up to first match of the year.
Oh, in the middle. I think you said it best towards the end of set number 3. Basically, Kansas ran the same thing, and you said there's no defending that.
Yeah, it's awfully tough, but the kill by Payne gets the attention, but Nelson's pass on that was perfect, and that allows them to run plays like that.
Now Nelson back to serve. It was a tough one. Free ball. Payne again. Can they get her going? No touch.
They're trying to get Payne seems to be more comfortable right now running quick sets, whether it's in front or behind, but that one just went wide.
Oh, that ball was smoked.
Boy, Kansas ran a lot of traffic into the middle of the court. When Havili set the ball, I had no idea who was going to hit it. There were 3 attackers running into the middle of the court. It seemed like a miscommunication, but good swing by Rigdon.
When you're trying to set up your block, if you don't know where it's going, it's hard to get any help.
Right, exactly.
Payne serves. Brown cuts off Kuchmaner. Bailey, big right hand.
Good swing by Bailey. Good smart swing off the outside hand of Rigdon. That's happened a few times with Rigdon. And I can't tell from our angle if she needs to change the location on her block, but Bailey's finding that outside hand pretty effectively. Great touch by Evans on the block.
It's Alexander for the Jayhawks. They need more of that here in this fourth set.
Yeah, I think Alexander's playing with some pretty good energy right now, and I like how she's closing the block. That's a tough move for a middle to close on the right side. See how Evans responds to that error.
Tip. Payne hits the floor. And that's out.
It's great defense by Payne. That's a shot that had scored on her. Burst with just her third error, but you know what I noticed at the end of game 2, Burst did not have a kill in game 3. She's still at 12 kills, so NC State's done a really good job finding a way to defend her.
Coming into this set, there were 3 Jayhawks in double figures for kills, as there's an attack error. It was Burst with 12, Payne had 11, and Rigdon also with 11. Melissa Evans, the only Wolfpacker, into double digits with 10. She picked up her 10th on the final point of the third set. You're talking about a fast start, and NC State maybe hasn't started as fast as possible, but they're off to a good start here with the 6-4 advantage.
Sure, I think they have to feel pretty good, especially, again, going back to Burst. She had really hurt them early on, and they've found a way to neutralize her, and Kansas is a little bit of trouble right now.
Caitlin Kearney trying to shake that one off. She was not trying to hit it over the net there, and Kansas capitalized.
Yeah, when I say Kansas is in trouble, it sounds silly to say a team with their type of leadership and veteran presence, but they've looked a little bit out of sync over the course of the first 10 points or so of this one.
And this set is absolutely vital for the Jayhawks. I mean, I'm sure you've been a part of it many, many times, but when you get that 2-0 lead and you lose set 3, you really have to focus on the fourth, because if it gets to the fifth, you don't have the momentum.
Sure, I think the longer this goes on, the better it is for NC State. So I think Kansas wants to take care of business in set 4, but again, they're struggling a little bit right now. Let's see if they can get back into a groove. But NC State, you see them doing a good job from the end line, putting Kansas in some bad situations.
Porter's ace, not handled by Rigdon. She'll serve again with the pack up 3. Oh, how about that from Zoe Hill?
They fixed that connection. Havili found her way up high.
Yeah, that was miles different from what we saw earlier with the mistimed jump and set.
Yeah, Kansas has been far more effective running quicks in front and behind than they have on the high ball.
Good dig off Pickrell's attack. Porter calling for it. She sets up Brown, and Havili gets the Kansas offense revved up.
Good rally here, good patience on both sides.
And that'll find the floor. It was Jada Burse. She was silent in the third, and now she's back at it.
Yeah, maybe that'll get her back on track a little bit, but that's been her classic shot, going high and inside off the middle blocker's hand.
Havili.
Great dig by Havili.
And it turns into instant offense.
Yeah, I think that's a sign right there. Kansas has to feel good about the last couple rallies. NC State's running a great tempo to their left side, Julia Brown, but Kansas digging it pretty easily and converting.
And a good call. NC State, and when I say good call, I don't mean by the official, although it appeared to be the correct call, but NC State's back row really communicating well, even in a loud environment, to lay off of that serve.
Yeah, and I forget where we are with Havili, if that was 3 or 4.
That would be 4. Certainly uncharacteristic.
Again, you see Kansas there trying to run as fast a tempo as they possibly can. They haven't had great success throwing the ball up high on the outside. That time NC State defended it well, but Bailey wasn't in position to score.
Tori Miller, the senior from Derby, Kansas, That deep float, there was a touch there. NC State will take the point.
They passed the ball well from Miller. They had been struggling a little bit with her deep floater serve, but they stuck the pass and they were able to run Kearney in the middle. Another great pass by Miller.
Rigdon.
I think Coach Hampton Keith is going to have that roll shot, be seeing that roll shot in her dreams tonight. She has scored over and over on that shot.
Hope you at home are enjoying this broadcast of NC State and Kansas volleyball. I know we are here in Reynolds Coliseum, and I just want to remind you that if you're enjoying this, you get another chance to watch these two teams play tomorrow night. It'll be right here on the ACC Network Extra as part of this Wolfpack Invitational.
So Payne tried to do a little bit too much with that ball, trying to cut it too sharp.
Manor sets Evans.
Good rally, good win by NC State there. Couple great plays, and Evans again on the scoring end of it.
And important for the Wolfpack to be able to score there in an unorthodox manner with Cooch Manor setting Evans like that. There's Payne.
That's one they have to dig when Payne takes a swing like that. You know, that wasn't her hardest swing. I think NC State, as tough of a play as it is, when you're digging an All-American, you need to make that play.
Conchin is blocked in the middle. It was Alexander.
I'm surprised they're running middle there. You got Conchin against 6'4" on the other side of the net. Alexander.
Bump set.
Good save by Evans there. That was a tough ball, especially for a left-hander to handle, but she made a good save.
By the way, I mentioned the broadcast tomorrow. NC State will actually play twice on the ACC Network Extra. They'll play the defending Missouri Valley champs tomorrow at 3:30, Missouri State. And then following that matchup, we'll take on the Jayhawks again at 7. There's a pancake from Cooch Manor.
Great save. I thought it was going down.
I did as well. And like you said, Kansas always unfazed, and that's so tough mentally, right? When you make a great defensive play.
Yeah, too many times, a team will send the ball over thinking it's scored. They didn't stop playing. And again, they're running faster tempo. You see Rigdon going back to serve with that tough spin serve.
Right to Brown, an overpass, and a little fortunate.
Not exactly how Alexander wanted to put it down, but it went down.
Whatever way works, Kansas takes the lead. And Rigdon serving really tough. That one handled well. Evans can't put them out of this rotation. And this is a chance for Kansas to really open things up. We've got a media timeout. I got it right that time. See, first matchup for me, but set 4. Here we go. Neither coach had called a timeout, which means we go to a media timeout. It's Kansas 15, NC State 30. In a matchup of two Power 5 opponents, the ACC and the Big 12 meeting here on the ACC Network Extra. He's Mike Shaw. I'm Andrew Sanders. Well, Kansas was picked second in the Big 12 after winning the conference for the first time in Jayhawk history. They did, however, receive 3 first-place votes, but it's the Texas Longhorns who are the favorite out there in the Big 12. It's going to be a pretty good battle between those two teams to see who'll be crowned champion.
They've had some great matches in recent years, and I think it's good for their conference that you have such strong teams at the top. NC State's a little bit stuck here. I think the matchup that they want is Julia Brown hitting over Havili on the outside, but they haven't been able to find that matchup.
So So Rigdon continues to serve, and, well, she'll take it. She will unstick NC State just like that. Speaking of the Wolfpack, picked 5th in the ACC preseason. And as you noted earlier, this Atlantic Coast Conference is a conference that's gaining more and more respect in the volleyball world.
No doubt about it, with Pittsburgh and Coach Fisher at Pittsburgh doing a great job there. You know, they've been very solid over the last few years. And Notre Dame is, making another run under Coach Jim McLaughlin. So they're getting better and better every year. And then UNC and Florida State at the top of the conference are among the best in the country. So I think the ACC has gotten very good very quickly. Great swing by Evans on the right. She had a small seam to work with between the middle and the left side blocker, and she took advantage of it.
You mentioned the 4 teams that were picked in front of the Wolfpack in the preseason poll. If NC State, obviously trying to add their name up there at the upper echelon of the ACC, if they were able to pull off this comeback, I think the whole conference would take note.
No question about that, Andrew. I think this would be a pretty big statement here by NC State to be able to battle number 8 Kansas.
The Wolfpack actually knocked off its first ever top 10 opponent last season in volleyball. That came in Florida at Tallahassee. It was Porter who dug it out.
By Porter. That was a big point. Great play by Porter in the right back to pancake the ball. And again, I can't say enough about Julia Brown. She just keeps going. Regardless of the matchup in front of her, she just keeps going. Great swing by her to score the point.
Taking advantage of the great defense by the server, Porter. An overpass. And again, it's Porter. Keeps it off the floor. Brown really hit it off balance, but she got it over. And Kansas on the far side was that Burse.
Yeah, Burse with another kill, but boy, the key to that rally was Havili twice keeping the ball alive, keeping it in play, both at the net and then defensively making a great play on what appeared to be a ball that was about to go to the floor.
Are we having fun yet? This has been fantastic start to the 2017
great
season.
First match of the season.
Payne got her fingertips on it. Other side, they go to Burse again. Kuchmaner smacks it up in the air. Burse sniffs it out.
Burse.
Payne gives it a try. Kuchmaner sets it up. Oh, and a nice sprawling dig by Rigdon.
Great block by Hill. Brown took a big swing. That's a great swing to take. I'm good with her being aggressive on that. But great defense on both sides of the net. Unfortunately, Brown couldn't finish this swing.
Yeah, Hill got that right hand on it. I think she's having fun. Absolutely. 19-17 here in the 4th set. We'll be back in just a second. Tonight with the band going, the fans in attendance here, watching their hometown Wolfpack take on the 8th-ranked team in the country. Kansas dealing with this tough environment thanks to their experience, obviously, but also they're used to playing in front of big crowds. As a mishit from Rigdon will cut the Kansas lead to 1, but it was announced that Horace Arena, which seats 1,300, the Jayhawks volleyball team, they sold out season tickets. That is a testament to their fans out there in Kansas.
They should blow down some walls and add some more seats, but I think it's a testament to their consistency over the past years and the type of program that Coach Bouchard and his staff have put together. It's a hot ticket in Lawrence.
All tied at 19. A couple of attack errors.
I like how NC State, they just keep coming at them, and especially out of the timeouts, they're scoring consistently. If they can hang in here, keep Kansas stuck, although Kansas has some great options in this rotation.
Bailey all the way across.
Bailey.
You noted At the start of the third set, you loved NC State's attitude when they came out. I mean, at no point has it seemed like they've doubted themselves, even being down 2 sets.
No question. I love the job that Kylie Pickerel's doing running the offense on that side of the net. I think she's making some great decisions, putting hitters in a good position. That shot by Bailey was, it looked like bursts from the right side.
Timeout, Kansas. NC State leads by 1. Well, partner, you said the longer that this match stretched out, the better it would be for NC State. There's a certain energy in this building right now after that Kansas timeout, and you can kind of feel the belief of the fans and the team on the Wolfpack sideline.
Sure, it really comes down to execution at this point. Kansas has been here before, and NC State just keeps coming at them. So we'll see who can execute the best down the stretch.
That's a great way to come out of the timeout for the Jayhawks.
It's been interesting to see Kansas's offense develop even throughout the match. They're running Payne on more quicks than they are high balls, even though she's a kid that can hit over a lot of blocks. I think that's just what they're comfortable with right now. Big pass here from NC State. You have Miller back to serve, who's been very effective from the end line.
Bailey handles it.
Great dig by Nelson.
With a chance for the Jayhawks. And that good dig turns into a point really quickly.
Boy, they earned that point. NC State put them in a tough spot, but Nelson in the back row, just good, solid dig that they could run anything off of, and great swing by Rigdon.
Teams here to be tested to this point in the first match of the season. Crunch time here in set number 4.
Great swing by Pickerel off the block. I don't think they were sure it was going out, but that's a good high swing in a tough spot.
That was a tough call, but a good call to make. It was perilously close to that line.
And what's also good in that getting out of that rotation is Miller is no longer serving back there for Kansas.
Bailey just out.
Close. I like this swing though. That's a good high aggressive swing from Bailey.
This match hanging in the balance, and right there, just that close between an NC State lead and a Kansas lead. It's the Jayhawks 3 points away from sealing this up. And again, it's the sophomore libero, Allie Nelson, who goes back to serve in a huge spot.
Great play.
Wow.
Tough break. Tough break. That's great effort by Miller on the Kansas side.
Miller did everything she could. We're now tied at 22. Porter comes out and Melissa Evans comes in.
Good matchups on both sides of the net. See who can execute big plays here down the stretch.
Billy bumps it all the way across. And a chance for Kunchin in the middle.
Uncharacteristic on the Kansas side of the net with the overpass on the first ball by Rigdon, but NC State took full advantage of it.
Timeout, Kansas. Sarah Kunchin gives NC State the lead late in the 4th. Are granted 2 timeouts, and in a match as tight as this one, both coaches are going to take full advantage of that. A chance to go over the strategy here before the biggest point of the match.
Yeah, I think on NC State's side, they just want to get hands on the ball. This is a good rotation for Kansas. I'd be aware of Rigdon's roll shot here.
They go to Payne, who splits the defenders.
Not a bad decision to go to the 3-time All-American.
First team last year, and it seems like when Kansas has needed a point most, later in this match, they've gone to Payne.
But now Payne's in the back row, so NC State has the matchup they wanted. Hitting over Havili with Evans, the left-hander, on the left side.
What can you say about the freshman Melissa Evans?
I wouldn't guess who the freshman is on the floor.
Yeah, she seems
she's
like
done
the
a
real
great
deal.
job. Very comfortable out there.
In her first collegiate match, gives NC State set point, looking to force a decisive fifth set. Miller, a good pass. The roll shot.
There it is. I was a play too early, I think, but that's been Rigdon's go-to shot all night.
That's the anticipation of a good coach. You knew it was coming. It was just a matter of time.
Yeah, NC State here in this rotation, they've got a good matchup. Havili is not a bad blocker. She's just a small blocker. And I would anticipate them going to Julia Brown on the outside. And Brown's taken some great swings all night.
All right, here we go. Extra points in the fourth set. Madison Rigdon, tough serve. Casper keeps it up. And had to go back of the hand there. Did Burse.
Great shot by Payne out of the back row. That's what All-Americans do right there. Both Havili and Payne and Rigdon contributed in that rally. That's what they need to do to be successful.
The Jayhawks trying to draw upon all of that experience in a tough environment.
What a great chance for NC State here, though, to be in this type of game this early in the season.
And an ace, and Kansas will finish it off. Madison Rigdon with the nail in the coffin. Kansas 26-24 in the fourth set. This was a tight match.
Great match on both sides. It really was. For first match of the year, I thought there were some great things on both sides. I think it was a good environment that competed hard.
So Kansas gets the win, as they expect to do, winning more than 90% of their matches. But NC State showing that this team, while it's going to take a little while to gel, they already have plenty of pieces to be dangerous.
No question about it. And tomorrow night's matchup is going to be awfully interesting. They know each other a lot better now than they did a couple hours ago.
Absolutely. I'm looking forward to it. You can watch it right here on the ACC Network Extra at 7 p.m. For my partner, Mike Shaw, I'm Andrew Sanders. For our entire crew here in Raleigh,